Cord. All right. Call this meeting to order. We have established quorum with all of our regular members and Kathy as an alternate. And stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty, and justice. Right, do we have any added agenda items?
No, it's a change, but we'll get to that.
Okay.
Yeah, makes sense.
Changes too.
All right, I would entertain a motion to approve our meeting minutes from December 4th, 2024.
I'll make a motion to approve our minutes from December 2024 with a correction. Down at the bottom paragraphs, it says Richard Pippin noted like a conservation easement recorded on the deed. That was Commissioner Baker, not me.
You didn't mind it?
Your comment.
Can we get page numbers on the minutes, please? I
I
don't
can-
know page numbers on.
I can tell.
Is there a second with that correction? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, moving on to new application to be received, IWWA 01-2025, 27 Reservoir Ave, request for permit to provide a new intake structure and outlet pipe for the pond, which is a swimming area. Applicant owner is the town of East Windsor, map block lot 089-56-029/01-A/025-A.
Okay, and this is the change. It was received in office and it was already on the agenda, so we kept it. However, the town is withdrawing the application. I have put in your packets the section that we discovered while I was doing my staff memo that under 5.3, DEEP has specific authority over any dam replacement, safety issues, changes. And it says right in there that the local municipality does not need a permit to conduct an activity that has been sanctioned by DEEP, sorry. So that's all in a memo, the sections in there.
It's their problem if they screw it up.
So they are, yeah, they are officially withdrawn.
So they look.
There's a letter from our town engineer, Len Norton. And
It's more than that to write this memo.
I saw the email.
Kind of wonder what we're going to give a permit for.
yeah, I'm doing my staff memo and I said, wait a minute.
Well, things that aren't under the state permit, they have to come before us, but
It's
this
a
is,
beautiful funny paper here with lines and arrows and stamps and everything else. They covered it.
All right, so we'll move on. We have no public hearings, no continued public hearings. We don't have anything for new business. We have nothing for old business. We have nothing for miscellaneous. So on to agent reviews and decisions.
No agent decisions this month.
Okay, so we'll keep moving along. Next is violations. We have the Newberry Village berm removal not complete as required by December 1st of 2024.
Okay, I have a memo I want to read into the record for this. On November 6th, 2024, a violation was brought before the IWWA concerning the unauthorized creation of a berm within regulated wetlands, upland review, and conservation easement in favor of the town of East Windsor. The agency ordered the developer, Jim Giorgio, to remove the berm and return the land to grade by no later than December 1st, 2024. December 1st passed without the order being completed. I contacted the developer on December 19th, 2024. He said he would be completing it by December 31st. The berm is still in place. The Town of East Windsor Wetlands Violation Citation and Procedures Ordinance 21-01, which is included in your packet. Section C, adopted on August 19th, 2021, warns any person who commits, takes part in, assists in any violation of the Town of East Windsor inland wetlands and watercourses shall be issued a citation in accordance with the Town of East Windsor Inland Wetlands and Watercourses Schedule of Fines. The ordinance establishes the following fines, also included in your packet. $150 for activity conducted which exceeds the scope of the wetlands permit and it encroaches upon or impacts upland review areas. $250 for activity conducted which exceeds the scope of the wetlands permit or impacts a wetland or watercourse. The citation fee schedule also states each day a violation exists shall constitute a new violation. The IWWA waived any fines the first time the violation was presented. The developer continues to be in non-compliance despite the order given to remove the berm by no later than December 1st, 2024. The developer has conducted activities that violate the regulated upland review area, wetland, and conservation easement. In consideration of the continued non-compliance and the established citation fee schedule of the ordinance 21-01, staff recommends that the developer is fined no less than $400 at this time, with a condition that if the berm is not removed by no later than February 1st, 2025, the fine shall be determined to be set at $400 per day for each day in violation past December 21st.
Okay.
Anything else?
I don't know if that, because I don't know if that's a motion item, if we sent, if we,
Isn't that how our flow chart works? Like, isn't it? I don't think we need to make a motion on it, do we? If it's,
it is, the citation comes next, but because we're, I guess, maybe agreeing or disagreeing with what I proposed, I'm not sure if that needs to be an official motion or if it's as the wetlands enforcer.
Yeah, no, I think we have the discretion to change something, but it's, yeah, this is all
Okay.
this is all laid out. We, I think, can by consensus agree or we can disagree and suggest things and make a motion on that if we needed to, but we don't need a motion, I don't think. It's all in the ordinance.
Technically,
Yeah,
it's in there.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
are there any comments?
The mitigating factor now is you couldn't remove it if you wanted to
Right,
without doing a work, so.
but there was plenty of opportunity in December to do it. 'Cause
February 1st is really kind of honestly,
I think
I
there'll be,
wouldn't let them near the thing until April 15th at the earliest.
well, I've been there
Because
and there's already erosion control up.
Yep.
And it's not a big slope.
Yeah.
So, and it's not really a ton of, they're not changing the grade to make it steeper. So if they just take the berm out, I mean, they still have work to do to, seed it and everything and put topsoil in the spring. But there's really going to be plenty of opportunities, I think, over the next month or so to remove that berm. It's like
You think so?
half a day's work, if that.
Half a day's work with a D8 and a ripper.
It's.
Hell, you got frost going
Yeah,
down
you do,
like
which
crazy.
just got here. Last week, there was no frost. Next week, there won't be any frost. There's
sure
plenty
there
of
will.
opportunities.
Oh, it's
And also this,
in now.
there will be plenty of opportunities in the next month. I am 100% sure of that. Because that's the way Connecticut is now. We don't stay cold. It's warm and then it's cold, then it's warm, then it's cold.
When frost goes in,
There was plenty of time to do it
comes out
before
on
the
the top,
frost.
but it
and
don't
there's-
come out down below.
Yeah, and he's only got it's like
You'll
What?
never do it. You'll tear the living stuff out.
he'll have to figure that out, I think.
But, as far as the fine, he agreed to do it before December 1st. I agree with that completely, but to push it to go in there now, I think maybe we're.
But we're giving
pushing
him the rest of the
rope,
month.
shall we say, that isn't frozen.
I think we're giving him ample time and we can reassess then, but I really feel like it needs to be done.
Well,
And he agreed to do it and he didn't do it. And so it's his problem how
You'll have
hard
the
it is.
fine ordinance.
We did have some rainy spells in there.
I just dug a trench
Yeah.
last week. There was no,
Last week you could.
yeah, and next week you will be able to too.
I driving my truck around today on job sites that I would have got buried up to the axles in last week. And believe me, you don't even leave a mark.
No, I hear you.
It's gone that bad already.
But you know how Connecticut is. It's not
And-
like Vermont.
And that
It
soil
will
in
not be there in a
particular,
week.
the frost, when it goes into that soil, it binds up.
Yeah, that's-
tight. It's
that's really not
like
our
the
problem,
sand
though.
Down in your wonderful neighborhood down there where it comes apart. It's that.
There was no frost
Right.
last week.
No,
None,
I agree. It should have been done before December 1st. No argument.
right? There was
And
no.
he agreed to
frost.
it.
And he had all of December to do it too, so.
Yeah.
So, yeah, however, he's got to work it out. He's got to work it out. Not our problem.
We got to revisit the rest of the issue in February first, truthfully, but. Because
so
myself, I wouldn't want to be trying to do it this time of year.
No, that's why you do it when it's
Best
supposed to.
stay out of there because you're going to do more damage than you're going to do good. And it's not going to grow anyway.
So I will disagree or agree that this would be the course.
I don't know if we have to vote or not. I don't think we do, but we're going to send that letter, right?
Do you like the amount of the fine or do you
Yep.
think you should? Start off a little easier or start
No.
off
No.
a little harder?
Nope, we waived the fines already.
Okay,
If we're not gonna use the
I'm not
ordinance,
arguing.
why have it?
I mean, he sat right here and told us he'd do it.
Right.
And there was absolutely no problem doing it. It was nice and dry. You could have gone in there and you hardly would have left the mark.
Exactly. Okay,
Okay.
go ahead.
Okay.
Nothing for conference seminars and trainings, although we did have that one that we had that last week. And is anybody going to that one that's in May?
12th, I think it is 5th.
Something like that?
I'm planning
You're
on,
planning- okay.
planning on going. I think it's a Wednesday. Look, at my calendar, it looks good so far, so I'm gonna try to make that.
Okay. I'm not able to go, so if you can report back and
I'll bring back stress balls.
all the swag. Okay,
I'm hoping there's some good workshops, and I'll bring back info.
okay. Do we have anything for correspondence? General board discussion. We have 2 bullets on here for fees, fines and regulations and one for POCD discussion, so.
Having gone through what we did with this violation and in the planning department, we're trying to reassess, especially hand in hand with the new POCD coming out. Our fee schedule for PZC for inland wetlands. And so this was to bring discussion to you as a panel, as an agency, as to, there's a copy of our fee schedule with the ordinance, because this is the whole process. We'd have to make the changes, go before the Board of Selectmen, all of this. So this could be something we start as a conversation and maybe look over the next couple of weeks or months if you want, but I wanted everyone to take a look at this. I have looked at other towns. The statute says no more than $1,000 per day. And most of the towns that I looked at just said that same thing. They didn't have a schedule of fees like we do specifically. So I don't really have anything to compare it to in terms of what the other towns do. But that is the state statute. It can be up to $1,000 a day. So it's just to open the discussion as to what you think, if these are still fair and on par, or if there are any reasons you believe should change
I've
or proposed to.
put a lot of work into figuring out these fees, and I think they're good.
Okay.
I don't think.
I don't know what you guys
we should
think.
fix it. It's the first time we've ever used it.
Yeah,
Let's see,
Okay.
see what.
And that was just, yep.
They have an arbitration thing for this after was set up.
They could request that.
some kind of,
There was some kind of board in the town that if they refused it, you know, they were gonna fight it, the fine. They had an arbitration board and how they would settle it.
oh, right, there's a whole pathway to go.
Yeah.
You know, once you do get fined, that like, and that's the thing, you know, this one tonight, this violation, there's a whole path that person can follow.
That's right.
Fight it, you know, it's not an automatic, you know, go right to
But
check them out.
there is a board in the town appointed, there was, I think, he was.
Well, and it'll be appointed as needed.
Mhm.
If if we get into a situation, then we reconstitute it.
There was a board one time.
Yeah.
Couple.
There's a citation hearing officer.
Right.
It's Angelo Severino
Financial.
presently. So if, as of now, there's 30 days for him to appeal, according to state statute. And if he appeals, I believe that's when it goes to Mr. Severino, the citation hearing officer. And so that's the whole process. What he decides can be appealed to the Superior Court. And that can be appealed to the appellate, and then Supreme if he wants to take it all the way, if it's like, and then at that point.
See what Justice
Right.
Roberts thinks about it.
That would really be a proof on his part. It cost him a fortune. The idea of these fines was to get compliance, not to penalize people.
That's right.
Just,
Mhm.
You know,
So we'll see how it goes.
so let's see what happens.
Nelson was on
And,
that.
and we can always remit
He was.
if we have,
Now it's
to,
in,
or we
I
can
forgot
adjust
that.
He
it.
passed away.
Yeah.
But the main thing is to get compliance.
And we've done a pretty good job of that, I would
Yeah.
think.
We've.
We haven't
done
had to
well
use our
without-
feet, so.
Without fining people.
Yeah.
Getting it done.
Well, most people just do what they say they're gonna do. And
Right.
it's over.
I agree.
Yeah.
Especially consider the gentleman right across the street with all the material, with all his equipment right there. Could have gone over, took 3 buckets and been done.
Ruth is being waiting to let in.
Probably why my phone just went off.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, I think they're good still.
Okay. All right, and then,
And then P O C D.
We get done with it.
so I've put in your packets, we're going over with all of our commissions and kind of starting with the process of looking at the actions we originally had for the P O C Ds 2016, seeing where we've come, if we've accomplished any of these, if there's ones we would like to add, eliminate going forward for the next P O C D. I printed the page in the P O C D number 16 that had the most relevant to the Wetlands Commission. And so these actions as they're listed are what we would go over and see our opinions on what's been, if you feel as though we've been accomplishing it, or if it needs more work, or if it's to be eliminated. And so I guess maybe we can go through quickly. The first action would be to revise impervious surface standard, which we have given people the opportunity for different impervious surface to use. I don't know how y'all feel about how successful. Giving them new choices. I
think we have plenty of options out there to choose from.
So if that's one you think we've accomplished or have more to work on.
I mean, there could always be improvement, but what specifically? I have an answer for that.
I can add that the Planning and Zoning Commission has added allowance for the use of pervious pavement with a special use permit. And we have one example of that being the new self-storage down on Abbey Road.
Okay.
See how it works.
Okay.
We always have impervious.
I think Ruth had mentioned there was a point where we had decided to eliminate the next one, continue participation in regional environmental programs. It's not really something we are active at this moment. If everyone's okay with eliminating that for this next.
I'd say the only one that we would, as the Wetlands Commission, be interested in is like Kakiwik, right?
Sorry, what?
Kakiwik?
Yeah.
Yes.
So don't ask me to tell you what that acronym is. It's Connecticut Wetlands, something or other.
I just got something for it.
But yeah, I think that's the one that we definitely want to maintain and try to get to those seminars whatever they call them every year.
Do they still publish a?
That pamphlet.
We still, I
get it?
get it.
You get
It comes to the office and then
Used to be all of us got it. Now just the chair gets it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
which comes to the town and then Danielle gives it to me here and then I pass it down the table. Sometimes it has good stuff in it though.
It does.
Okay, and the next one is to be more proactive in preserving and protecting our wetlands, vernal pools, bogs, and watersheds. So how do you feel on each of these? Have we developed erosion and sedimentation control standards within wetlands regulations to guide and encourage developers to use preferred methods? If that seemed to be something that we're doing successfully, or?
We haven't done any of that work.
Well, we use the state statutes and state standards, basically.
State.
We don't need to
Say
necessarily.
we haven't developed our own because I don't think we need to develop our own.
Number 3, we did. I'm very happy to say we
Yes.
had one of our goals from last year.
Some bad.
Okay, how about promoting green infrastructure? I think we give people options, but I don't know if we want to encourage more of these, or.
I mean, I would say, yeah, I mean, I think continue to encourage it.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
don't think it's an improve, I think it's a continue, if that's okay to use.
I think the last time we did this, the idea was that we would, as a group, occasionally produce a document, like in the annual report, or now we have the newsletter where, you talk about the benefits of using the rain garden and stuff like that. And I don't think we haven't done that kind of work recently, but I wouldn't say that we wouldn't want to in the future.
Agreed.
Okay. What about 4, identify high-quality wetlands, vernal pools, and bogs?
I don't think we've done
Develop a
that.
system to prioritize importance within ecosystem and modify regulations to support. Well, I know we haven't modified any regulations.
We have digitized the wetlands that we have planned so far, so we've made a step, but there's still a lot of
We
work.
did step one.
Yeah.
We got to take some credit for
Mhm.
that.
Yeah.
Good step, and we just
We'll
gotta
take the credit.
yeah, and you got to take the responsibility to continue that.
Yep.
Oh, goody.
Mm-hmm.
So I think continue with that one, but I think vernal pools and bogs, we've done well on the wetlands, but need to continue on the rest of the pieces.
Yeah,
of
so
that.
now, like, whenever we get a app in that a wetland scientist has,
Delineated.
delineated stuff, is there a way to get that layer and then add it to our thing?
You send it to me, put my other hat on, and then yes.
But like, I mean,
So-
would have to,
No, we just geo-reference it. Go ahead, Ruth.
We haven't done.
Yeah, so there's a layer. We already have a layer for the actual delineations.
what I'm
So-
thinking, I'm wondering,
And
like,
we,
what layer is like pretty like not accurate.
It is not survey grade.
Right, and so, and we had talked before when you had done the upgrade that if we could get, so these are all just waypoints, right? And if we could get that layer from electronically, when we approve
Yes.
something and, right, or we get an application,
Yeah.
if we could get that from Russo or whomever is doing that, couldn't we just add that to our?
Yes, if they provide
We
it.
started that.
If.
We gave,
I mean,
Would be a
they
good
don't
thing
have
to
do anything.
continue.
Say, can you please? And,
Yeah,
Actually, over
and if
time.
not, we just use the plan and do what we've been doing. So,
oh, and you could pull it manually.
yeah, we
which
do it
is
manually.
Not as easy and you're busy anyway.
No, but it works.
Yeah,
So I mean, we're doing that at a minimum.
okay. But I wonder if
so
we could.
that sounds like a reg change you're talking about, Alan,
Yeah.
right? To require that as part of a complete application.
Well, we could ask for it
I would ask,
officially
not
with a reg, but we could also ask as a favor, would not like require, but ask
Yeah.
of people, right? In the
Yeah.
meantime, and then maybe we could say, yeah, we want that layer as part of our
Yeah.
regs. That would be really something to remember for when we change our regs.
Yeah,
You're right.
I was gonna say, we didn't do a very good job of watching bogs around the Connecticut River.
No.
Now, keep that in mind. You gotta keep your eyes open for all the dump trucks that are running around. Where are they dumping all the stuff?
Where do you
There's-
think?
and actually, while we're talking about this, because this was going to be something I was going to bring up after, but we're on the subject.
Getting a drone.
I mean, that's one too, that's a priority. What about a possible, the next time, SIP comes up, getting money for delineation, with wetlands aerials?
yes.
To add another layer?
Well, we have a certain amount of GIS money that we pump in a little bit in CIP every year, right? And that's getting spent or not. I know last time I asked for an accounting, there was a bunch that had not been spent.
Stuff that I've done, again, switching my hat, stuff that I've done for CIP was mostly stormwater and drainage side of things, not wetland side of things, other than doing the delineation of
Yep.
plans going back up to
Right.
years, I think it was. So that's all we've done.
So- I think that there's a project in there to have, and it can combine a couple of things. To go for a large SIP project to do the mapping and identify the priority wetlands,
Mm.
which would, be the vernal pools and, some high valued wetlands.
Yeah, now that you bring that up with high value again, it reminds me, we have that black spruce bog over there on Wapping, and it would be nice to have that delineated and whatnot, because that's rare. I think there's 3 in the state.
Yeah, 2 of them are in East,
Mhm.
Yeah, there's a handful.
There's two in East.
2 in East Windsor out of the 3 in the whole
Over on
state.
the old Norton farm. In the back, there's one.
Yeah, so
Okay,
there's
that's what I
there's
had
more
seen.
to do and collect on that, so. However,
Okay.
there's funds available,
Okay,
because we know the state's data sucks.
Yeah, and it's old.
It's awful. Yeah.
I mean, things just change anyway.
Yeah.
You keep filling it, it just changes.
All right.
All right, number 5 was work toward implementing a watershed plan, which includes impacts from surrounding communities.
Well, we did this, the Route 5 study. We specifically didn't do it, but the town did it.
The
and
town
that
did.
Mapped out a whole bunch about the blue ditch and all that stuff. So we kind of worked on that.
Hmm?
I think we should,
I don't know if I'd count that towards it, but
well, it was a lot of
Yeah.
wetlands
yeah.
in there.
Some of that though, like, when it rains, the rivers run coffee. Right? And it has negatively impacted the swimming at Reservoir, East Windsor Park. So there may be something there for maybe education
Well,
on best management practices.
we also do the water testing as part of the Skinnick River watershed itself does Enfield, Summers, East Windsor. But in East Windsor, the American Heritage River Commission, we have 6 sites that we sample, so like we're getting data in that side, but
And we should, I don't know where we would keep that, but we should take advantage of that.
Yeah.
Because that's, that's an
Yeah.
important question to have when grants come up. And I don't know if we're testing, well, we're testing Chestnut, right? But we're not testing above it.
yeah, that might have been one of the sites that got removed.
Oh, Chestnut.
Yeah, I think it did.
And then there's Scannick River Watershed Association does that 10-year state of the Scannick, right? That's gotta be
Yep.
coming up soon. And we have some of that on file in the office. I know that.
Okay.
If not, I have a copy.
Yeah, so I think let's keep it on here and we have some things to
Get together.
go towards
We
it.
should work on
Yeah.
it this year.
Yeah, I agree.
And then we touched upon this, but encourage a higher preservation protection point value for prioritized wetlands, vernal pools, and bogs when considering open space conservation and preservation.
I think that's important. And like the Conservation and Ag Commission did something similar where they, as you know, were grading farmland. So they have a database of where the good stuff is, where the best stuff is and whatnot. That's a good idea. We should probably.
We do that anyway, but we just don't have a plan for that. We just do that right here ourselves.
Yeah, they have like an Excel spreadsheet that says,
Like we talk about the bogs.
here it is.
Right.
Here's where it is on the map.
And we do take the action, but to get it on a piece of paper in a book, we don't have it.
Yeah.
And that
Yep.
actually involves what we talked about as well, investigating the ability of grants
Yep.
AP to assist with the identification process, so that will kind of melt maybe. Consider performing an impact study of the Scantic River and Bowens Brook from adjacent properties or neighboring communities. Seek to find reasonable solutions that can be implemented through regulations.
I think this was put in there by or suggested by the AHRC in the last POCD because of the concern of every time it rained, the Scannick turns
Chocolate.
coffee colored. And so there'd been some work done to trace non-source point, inputs to the Scannick. And there was a couple things, found in Enfield basically, but I don't know if it ever went further than that.
A lot of farmland along.
I think we were waiting for more years of results to try to identify more specifics. And I think this year is going to be year 6, maybe. So I think maybe this year we could maybe expect to start to see some reports coming out of this that are actually useful for us. So
So we got to keep that one too.
yeah, keep it or at least revise it to continue that.
Yeah. Pretty brown water when you go up to Melrose Bridge. It's brown coming down under there. That's about the end of East Windsor. It's before. It's not coming from East Windsor, it's coming from above. When you go up to the Bell and Richardson, and it's clean, so.
I know this is somewhere, and maybe you guys chucked it by now but it was in a box someplace, but there was a study of the Broadbrook as well, because they were trying to figure out why the reservoir was so dirty. And that
Reservoir's not.
it wasn't the only reason they had that, but that was, I think that was by the Scannick River Water Study, or was that by Deep?
That might have been deep. I don't remember that.
What are you talking about? Muddy Brook up above?
Yeah, it was,
Yeah, from
they
Elgin.
tested the water. I have a copy of that too. But they, that's,
That's when you're getting all the pathogens and everything down through
yep,
coliform and everything.
yep, exactly.
They figured out
Now with the
it's coming from a little east of here.
inside.
Right.
But it's all over, so you're gonna get it.
Right.
You got,
Yeah, I think that's the issue maybe. But,
What would you say are the top 3 priorities for our next POCD from wetlands?
I think our GIS would be one of the 3.
Identifying the high quality wetlands, vernal pools and bogs is my number one.
Right?
Yeah. So that's 2.
What did you say?
GIS, I was
Oh,
talking specifically
okay.
technical.
Kind of tight.
So
You're
updating
talking
and
about getting the data.
Yeah, yeah. I put that as one, but yes, it is
Okay.
two, it is 2 things essentially.
Mhm.
Some of the data,
Yeah.
we need a plan to get it together.
somebody,
I think looking into the grants too, especially if we want to be able to identify those, the grant is a big one.
or,
Vaguely remember that.
remember,
Vaguely.
up behind you. All up behind you.
Which one? Which one?
Where you live right now?
Rice Street?
Yeah. You don't know about. Where you been? And somebody checked them out. I don't know, may have been Ruth.
Was there a vernal pool study done in town? Is that what you're saying?
No, no, just that there were some that we should be aware of.
I think there are some that we're aware of and know of, but they're not mapped anywhere. We're just like, oh, that
Yeah.
one's over there.
One's
There's a bunch of them in Newberry Village.
GIR, but they may not be on a GIS.
48 of them.
Mhm.
Any of them have water in it anymore.
They don't have them every year.
Been there 7 years, so there haven't been any water in it.
No. It's changed,
Did we
unfortunately.
get you your 3, Danielle?
so I have
Oh, and the big-
GIS technical updating, and then GIS identifying quality, wetlands, vernal pools, et cetera. And then number 3 was looking into more grants for wetlands opportunities in town for research and development. Anyone else want to add anything, or Ruth?
I don't want to add too much.
No, I think it's good to just be focused, and I like how the upgrading the mapping to be more accurate works with also identifying those high value wetlands and getting those identified on a map. So I like that.
High value.
And then grants to help us do it. So,
All right. Anything else on the POCD?
I have nothing.
Will be.
Okay. Moving on to public participation. Public have any comments? Yes.
Randy Clifton, 7 Hickory Trail. I've got a few questions. One of them is, when Jim agreed to take that berm out, there was also a pile of dirt and cement that was over by 4 Morning Dove. And looking at some maps that Danielle has given us, it appears to us that the area where that pile of dirt and cement is also part of the wetlands. I'd like to add that to that letter you're gonna send, if you agree that that area is in the wetland.
Need to go back and look at those pictures to see where those ones
Have
were,
to be-
because I don't remember.
It's already been started with the berm. We can't add something once it's in the process, but we can do a new, if it,
A second one.
yeah.
Can you make a note to look into that one, Danielle?
Okay, another thing we've run into is, the building of our association is complete. There's no more houses to be built. So when does the road have to be put in by?
That's not.
It's
how it
not an us
works. That's a
question.
Planning and zoning question.
Right.
We can't even I mean, obviously, I'll just tell you, generally speaking, there's a bond for that's out there and that bond won't be released. And there's one of the things we've done in the recent years from the Board of Selectmen level was to create a policy where those bonds don't get released without a whole checklist from various departments being done. So that process would happen before everything is finalized and that bond is released. So one would think that would be, sooner than later, but that's, again, not a wetlands thing. It's a planning and zoning thing. And
That's why I wanted to ask. I know where to go then. And when does planning and zoning have its meetings?
every 2 weeks, first and third,
Second and fourth.
and fourth.
Second and
Yeah.
fourth
Oh.
Tuesday.
This coming Tuesday is the next Planning and Zoning Commission.
So tomorrow.
Tuesday.
Oh, Tuesday. I thought you said Thursday.
Sorry, second and fourth Tuesday of every. So yeah, this Tuesday, the 14th.
And then another situation has arisen. There's 2 houses that have not closed yet. They're finished, people are living in them, but the houses have not closed yet. One of the persons was supposed to have their closing date last week. They went to the closing and they couldn't have the closing because Jim owed $100,000 to his contractors. So they said they couldn't close. What effect is that going to have on getting the roads done?
Again, that's not a wetlands thing. That goes back to Alan's point of that checklist with planning and zoning.
Okay.
But Jim,
Oh, that's
the
illegal.
developer owing money is not.
No, I
between-
understand that.
Okay.
What I'm concerned about is we had an estimate done on what it's gonna cost to finish the roads, and we got anywhere between $135,000 and $250,000 to get it done. And if he owes $100,000 and he can't get anybody to loan him any money, and I don't know how he's gonna close these houses. What makes us think he's gonna put the road in? I mean, where's he gonna get the money to put the road in? So.
Real simple, a bond.
You should have a
The bond
bond.
already
Yeah,
in
the
place.
bond is $60,000.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
That could be.
I
Yeah.
can't answer any
You're
questions.
getting into legal questions.
Find out, I appreciate
We
it.
can't,
Okay.
we can't go there.
The building department has probably that information and I think that's where it's at really at this point in time.
What are they gonna see?
Excuse me, you can't put it in the road anyway. Because
So they could
no
move in.
asphalt.
Yeah.
Well,
So he's got
I don't
to see
expect you
that.
to put it now.
They didn't
I
have
know that.
financial close.
We're just worried about actually getting it done. I mean, the road's been there for
So how did he get a CO?
13
I
years.
don't think
Well,
I should have given him a CO.
Oh, they must have a
You can
CO.
get a CO whether there's liens on it or not, Richard.
I've seen that before.
Okay, I think you guys have answered my questions, and I thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. My name is Steve Caliendo, 48 West River Road. Closed a couple months ago, and prior to closing, there was an issue I had specifically with the developer about clearing some trees in the back. And spoke with Danielle today. She located, I knew there was wetland behind me. I didn't realize how much or how close it was to me. And the trees I have are right over my property line and apparently in that first buffer, the wetland area.
Supplement review area.
So I kind of have a question, maybe it's a request as well. I read through your regulations and all, and I think it's 4-3 as of right. I was wondering if that's something that I could be considered for, to have these trees removed or even dropped into the wetlands area, if that's how it works.
What number did you say it was?
48.
Yeah, it's not
So it's
showing
lot
on there yet.
48.
And Mr. Carliendo, if I may interject, he explained these trees, they're so tall that with the wind lately.
Yeah, I
The
was,
concern is them falling on.
right, that's what raised the issue the past couple of days. In fact, I took a video, not that it would be helpful, maybe it would be, showing how much, depending of course, which way the wind's blowing, but it tends to blow toward my house. If either or any of these 5 trees come down, it's gonna come down on my roof, which was my initial concern when it was being developed, but the developer said, we're not taking them out, we can't take them out. And that's a whole other story. So that's the predicament I'm in right now. I have all the materials to fill out. I will need your help.
I explained to him that being in the wetlands, he wouldn't be able to stump, but he could ask permission as a residential safety. It might be as of right, it might be a full-fledged permit, but
Right. So
How many trees are you talking about?
there is 5 total. The first 3 that are closest to my house, and we're only talking difference of a foot to 2 feet amongst all 5 trees. They're the big swamp or locust trees they call them.
those are the worst.
Yeah, absolutely. And my concern, of course, in terms of expediting things is the weather we've been getting lately with the gust of winds and stuff, because it's really more pronounced, obviously. So that's basically my question / request. How to proceed.
I think we just need to see like a sketch with mark out where the trees are, right? And
It's gotta be it's gotta be official on the agenda. We can't just do it.
right. I'm just
You
saying,
gotta follow the procedures.
Right, but whether it would be him
An agent
applying for an agent
decision?
as of right, an agent decision or a
You
full-fledged.
have to look at it first. You gotta see if it's in the wetlands or in the
They are-
review area.
They are in the, yeah, I printed this
Yeah,
out
I
for him today, this all.
I put the little X's in red where they are.
Yeah.
It's right on
See
the
that?
line.
It's literally, the wetlands are his property line and they're, so they are in the wetlands, so it's just a matter of which you would be going for.
yeah, well, we do need to see,
Proper request.
well, right, and then we need to see a plan, and then we can decide if it's an agent decision or if it needs a permit,
Correct.
right?
So,
But, and then you can grind the stumps, right? Because you're not going underground, you're not digging things out. You could grind the stumps afterwards.
Oh, okay, I wasn't aware of that.
You just can't take them out.
Right, that I knew. Yeah, yeah.
All the chips from the stumps.
so you need a
Yeah,
plan
take-
from, say, his tree landscaper, I mean,
Yeah.
what kind of a,
I was just gonna ask that, what kind of plant? Because I talked to 3 different tree companies, talked to an arborist, I talked to a landscaper, and I talked to a company, they just take trees down. All 3 of them said that a safety issue here, they are already starting to die. So is that who I would get a plan from, any one of those, or?
Basically, you got the plan
You
there.
could do it yourself. You could just mark it, like if you did the East Windsor GIS, right? That picture basically, and
Blow it up.
bigger, blown up,
Yeah,
so
blow
it's
it up.
just your lot.
Read it.
Okay,
And, with the
You could do
aerial
what you
photo
did there.
turned on, so you can see the trees, and then just put an X on each one of them.
Danielle can help you do that.
yeah, I can
Fitz.
ask you.
oh, okay, great.
And then we can, I mean, it is winter, it's the best time to do it when the ground is
Oh, yeah,
frozen,
Definitely.
And so, and then we can decide it. I mean, it's probably gonna end up in an agent decision, but I mean, we'll have to take a look, I
Pretty
guess.
quick. Can you get a bucket truck out?
Would agree with that.
there?
They did when they took a couple trees down, of course, they ruined my lawn, just,
Oh, we're on it now.
just before I closed.
Us.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
2 of the companies I talked to said they wouldn't even need to bring a bucket truck in. They climb the tree, I guess.
Yeah.
It's the best way.
So just follow up with you.
So I can help you with a plan, I'll bring it to the February meeting for,
And you can just get on their schedule for after that meeting, in case you have success at that meeting, then you're ready to go.
I did notice with the application talking about abutting properties within 100 feet.
Oh, I can help you with all of those. with the
Oh,
properties.
You just need
Yeah,
the names and everything of my neighbors, the two neighbors on either side.
I'll help you with all
I
of
got
that.
that
I
already.
know that application is kind of technically complicated.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. I will help you.
That's a one size fits all.
Yeah, okay, follow up with you in the next couple of days or?
We've allowed
Yeah.
trees cut there.
Yeah, we just want to make sure after all the Newberry Village, we wanted to
Don't
make sure.
drop it.
Yeah.
Oh, and a few things like that, you know?
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other public participation?
Hey, after public, one thing we were, back on a general board discussion, I read in the minutes here, and they're formally using all our names, and then they just throw Danielle's name and Danielle, no proper name. I don't think that's proper, especially in an official document. You do have a name. Either that or just use the wetlands agent and no name. That's kind of awful formal and kind of personal. Where do you see it?
It says-
Right here, right above that one. That's why I caught it the first time.
I think that's pretty.
It's all the way through.
Wetlands agent.
It says-
It's like saying
Danielle.
Chairperson Rebecca. I
So,
don't think it's quite,
Well, it says right in
yeah.
page numbers on here on the third page.
You know, I'm a pain in the neck.
I know, but I'm just saying it says wetlands
Agreed.
officer Danielle, so
Yeah, well,
she's being called by
you know,
her
like
title and her first name.
Chairman Rebecca Davis. You know, and I mean, it's just they're not the same all the way through. Yeah,
So you want
I can
the
see it consistent.
person to
So now you-
add her last name.
Well, I think unless she
That's
has some
bad.
particular reason not to want it, then it would be fine.
I will leave that up to Danielle for what
We'll
she
leave
would
it up
like,
to-
and she can pass that along.
It's kind of, because not everybody thinks, oh, we can be all informal and go down there into the office and start, oh, buddy, you know, no way.
so it's
Be a bad idea.
See,
proper formatting.
proper, I think it would be more proper or proper, whatever you know, I'm a nitpicker, come on,
I don't have a problem
to
with
get ahead of you, Al.
it. Never. You got to work hard.
Right, we have nothing for executive session, so I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Lead you.
Go enjoy the UConn game. Thanks, Ruth. Thanks, Katie.